Hey Chem Kids, Mr. C here, and I'm just going to do a quick little video on the empirical formulas. So we have empirical formulas. So anytime we need to find the empirical formula, there's two major steps. First step is that we need to convert to moles. Convert to moles, not converto moles. And step two is we want to basically divide DIV by the smallest mole number. I know that second step can be a bit confusing, so I wanted to work out a full problem before we actually dive in and we kind of do it yourselves. Or, if you wanted to just see another example, here is another example. So to begin, I want to know what the periodic, or not what the empirical formula is for a sample that has 13.5 grams of calcium, 10.8 grams of oxygen, and 0.675 grams of hydrogen. So step one, and I'll do step one in red. So for step one, I have to convert all of these into moles. I don't want grams, I want moles. So in this case, I'm going to say, okay, for calcium, my moles, that's going to be equal to the mass over the molar mass, which in this case is going to be 13.5 grams divided by the molar mass of calcium, which if you look at your periodic table, is right around 40.08, I believe. Whenever we do all that out, we get that we have 0.337 moles of calcium. Then we're gonna want to do it for oxygen. For oxygen, we have 10.8 grams of oxygen divided by 16 grams per mole of oxygen, and we find that we have 0.675 moles of oxygen. And finally, we have to convert our hydrogen into moles. So in this case, we have 0.675 grams of hydrogen divided by the molar mass of hydrogen, which is 1.01, and that gives us a grand total of 0.668 moles of hydrogen. So step one is complete. So we're good with step one. Now we have to move on to step two, and this is where it gets a little tricky for some people. Step two, we have to divide by the smallest mole number. How I like to start it off is I like to say, okay, calcium, I have 0.337 moles. Oxygen, I have 0.675 moles. And hydrogen, I have 0.668 moles. Looking at all these numbers, I see that this 0.337 is the smallest. So I'm going to divide each of these numbers by 0.337. That's what I mean by divide by the smallest mole number. So we want to divide them all by the smallest of these numbers. And I get 1, 2, and like 1.98. Because this one here is so close to 2, we're going to say, you know what, we're just going to round it up to 2. Our last final step to get that final solution is these numbers all become the subscripts on our atoms. So we would have Ca1, but because in chemistry we don't care about ones, we're just going to leave that out. Then we'd have O2 and H2. And this would be what the empirical formula looks like for this molecule. If you have any questions over that, let me know.